So I've already showcased my AYN Odin 2 portal on the channel. Love this device. This is super great. Great screen, great size. Everything about this is amazing. Particularly with the TPU case. Really love this thing. Super ergonomic, all that stuff. However, today in the mail, I got this nifty little device. The AYN Odin 2 Mini. Now this thing is super cool, and you might be wondering why I decided to get this, which we'll get to. But obviously, comparing the two, this is much heftier, much bigger, has some really good advantages, but then you have this, which is super portable, super light, super awesome, even pocketable, but also comes with some disadvantages, so let's talk about it. So the first thing that is really apparent is the weight difference. Obviously, it's not heavy, but compared to an AYN Odin 2 Mini, this is just super easy to hold, super easy, it fits basically in my hand. Really good in terms of size and weight. This is super awesome. However, when it comes to ergonomics, this is where you're going to be sacrificing a little bit. So, I don't know if this is like an easy way to show this, but basically my hands they kind of just like wrap around this thing. I apologize for knocking the camera, but it kind of just wrap around a little bit. But there's nothing really to hold on to unless you have a grip for it, which, in my opinion, kind of defeats the purpose of having a pretty portable device. But in terms of ergonomics, a grip, there really isn't one here, which is a shame, but it's still very comfortable. I would still be happy using it. Comparing it to the AYN Odin 2 portal with the TPU case, I mean, this is, in my opinion, the most comfortable device that you could possibly get, and the most comfortable setup that you could possibly get, and also looks really nice, particularly the white variant. So of course, the screen sizes are going to be wildly different. This, I believe, is a 7-inch display. This, I think, is around a 5-inch display, or 5.5 inch. I could be wrong about that. They are the same resolution, so they're both 1080p 16:9 displays. However, this, it's not going to come out, it's not going to really be visible on camera, but this is silky smooth. It is a 120 hertz display versus this is a 60 hertz display. As far as emulation goes, I'm totally okay with the 60 hertz display. I don't use black frame insertion or anything that would use 120 hertz. So 60 hertz, as far as emulating goes, totally fine. When you get to Android games, that's where the Odin 2 is going to be super useful, because then you can run things like Minecraft, Call of Duty, Diablo Immortal, things like that. If the game allows it, you can run it at higher frame rates other than 60. Also, in case you are unaware, both run Android 13. However, this is an OLED display. This is a mini LED display. It's very apparent that this is mini LED. I don't know how simply this can come across on camera. I wonder if it could. But generally speaking, whenever there is any area that does not have text or anything displaying, some of the colors are really dark. And I can definitely see it on my end. This is RetroArch. I can definitely see it on my end that as I scroll through, the closer my cursor is to the letter that or the closer like a letter is to the currently selected letter, that one is brighter than the one right next to it. I don't know if that made sense, but this is the thing. So if you can put up with that, I think this is a very brilliant display, super bright, super great still. I would still be very, very happy with this display. This display, of course, is just better. 120 hertz OLED display, amazing size. Everything about it is very good. Other differences between the two: this has a much smaller battery at 5,000 milliamps. This has a huge 8,000 milliamp hour battery. I actually don't even put battery saver on this. I keep it at 120 hertz, and generally speaking, I can go 2 days of pretty intense gaming without charging this. Whereas this, I got this a couple hours ago, and I already charged it once, but that's because I charge my devices quite a bit. That being said, we're sitting at, I started this video at 91, we're sitting at 91, I have battery saver on, and I like to just keep it that way, but big difference in the battery. Of course, you're kind of giving that up with the size of this. Also going to be a big difference in thermals. This will get hotter versus this. I literally never feel any heat when playing the Odin 2 Portal, or even the Odin 2, the regular one. But this, you can kind of feel the heat, which is fine. It doesn't get super hot. It doesn't get uncomfortable. It just gets hotter. As far as the performance goes, though, you're getting the same amount of performance between the two. Everything runs. I mean, anything that this can run basically. So you don't really have to worry about performance. However, when it comes to ergonomics, a bit of a different thing entirely. So, like I say, Odin 2 Portal, super, super comfortable. And one of the things that I look for when it comes to comfort of a device is that it really is a thumb placement. A lot of people get bogged down in the discussion of the D-pad on top versus thumbstick on top. I think the real discussion is how uncomfortable, it could be either, but just how uncomfortable it is to move one or to one or the other. And a big thing for me to just determine that, even via a video, is the way the thumb looks when somebody switches. If you switch and your thumb is straight, it's a totally okay ergonomic device. However, this is a Retro Pocket 5, a device that I enjoy only for D-pad gaming. I think for thumbsticks it's not very good, and the reason being is that it's completely vertical. The way that the D-pad is up here, and then directly underneath it is the thumbstick. The moment you move your thumb from here to here, you can see that my thumb is arching. That is a really bad sign for ergonomics in any device. Don't like seeing this. It's the same for both, but it is not present in the Odin 2 Portal, at least. From here to there, it's a very simple change. And same thing with the thumbstick, especially with these thumbstick caps that I have. I also have the larger joysticks as well. Now, as far as the Odin 2 Mini goes, really isn't, I mean, you still arch it, but I think just the shape of this doesn't really make it feel super bad. So you can see that I can move my character in GTA 3 with this. It's not uncomfortable, but this is clearly a D-pad, or I'm sorry, a thumbstick top device, and this is where the comfort is. So, particularly for single stick games, where the main way to move is the thumbstick, this is going to be great. And I just walked right into that. Beautiful. Thanks, Janemba. I hope you all are not too harsh with me, but we got KO'd. But you know what? We're the real winner because we have this device. Now we're in some GTA Vice City Stories. Really great game. And runs amazingly. Even the fast forward. I'm just fast forwarding through just so you can kind of see how quick this device can be and how much overhead there is in terms of performance. I ran out of time, which is fine. But yeah, no, I cannot move that car. But there's a lot of overhead here, so you can see how quick I can just run. And this is on standard performance mode with the smart fan on at 100% brightness. And of course, no device is truly retro certified until you start God of War on it. And you can see that I can turn up the volume a little bit. I play with it pretty quiet, and it's already pretty loud. I don't even think I'm halfway on the volume yet. But maybe a little too loud. I apologize for that. But buttons aren't super clacky or anything like that. So I'm pretty happy with the experience so far. And for good measure, here's some Diablo 3 on the secret console. You can see this running at 59.9 frames, so 60 frames. Of course, this is the beginning of the game. I would imagine a few FPS drops, but perfectly playable. Really, really fun game. I would definitely recommend it. Aside from that, you still have your micro SD card, a charging port, USB-C, a headphone jack, everything that you need. And it's the same with the Odin 2 Mini, or I'm sorry, the Odin 2 Portal. I'm getting my Odins mixed up. So the real differences that you are going to observe between these two are battery life and thermals. They both go to the Odin 2 Portal. Now looking at the price of these, this is 400 USD and this is currently 329 USD. That's both for the base models. Of course, you're getting a few things that you're not going to get with a Mini. Obviously, the display, the size, everything about this device is super cool. Ergonomics, everything. But with this device, you get the portability, you get the same performance, give up a little bit on thermals, give up a little bit on ergonomics and battery life, but very portable device, super cool, easy to take around the house. This is why I really like this thing. But I think the biggest question that people have to ask themselves when they try to mentally justify why they're buying a new device, or at least I feel that way. Granted, I already have a Retro Pocket 5, I have a Retro Pocket Mini, I have another Odin 2, that's the regular one. I have another Retro Pocket Mini, which is the V1 versus the V2. I have all these devices, and what I try to do is come up with a reason to use each one of them. So for the Odin 2, the Odin 2 Portal, I use this for streaming via Apollo and Artemis. I use this for PS2 specifically emulation and Switch emulation on this device. For this device, I really wanted a device that reminded me of the PSP. I loved the PSP when I was a kid. I wanted a more portable device to be able to play PSP, and so this is the reason I got this device. So that's my use case for this device. If you have this device or any other device, I'm very curious to know if you have multiples. What are your use cases for them, or are you just, I'm going to use the new one and I'm going to forget about the old one? And with that said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, thumbs up, and if you didn't, thumbs down. Love you all. See you next time.